Hey, this is Eugene, and welcome to part 6 in our series of lessons dealing with music theory made easy. First, I need you to hit like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. Now, let's get started. Let's deal with some of the things that we talked about in our last session. One of the things that we talked about was time signatures. Now, we've been dealing with time signatures for the last couple of lessons, and we're gonna end dealing with time signatures on this particular lesson because we have to move on. We dealt with 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Okay. All right. All right, those are the most common time signatures that you're going to see. 4/4, 2/4, and that should have been 3/4. All right, let me change it to a 3. All right, 4/4, 2/4, and 3/4 are some of the most common times that you're going to see. Okay, 4 beats in a measure, 2 beats in a measure, and 3 beats in a measure. This bottom 4 tells me that the quarter note is going to get 1 beat. Okay, one more time. The bottom 4 tells me that the quarter note is going to get 1 beat. So therefore, I call it common time. In common time, then the quarter note gets 1 beat, the half note gets 2 beats, the eighth note gets a half beat, and the 16th note gets 1/4 beat, and the whole note gets 4 beats. All right, that's in common time. That's what I call it. And one more time, that top number tells me how many beats in the measure. 4 beats, 2 beats, 3 beats, okay? That's what I call common time. We also dealt with 6/8 time, okay? We also dealt with 6/8 time. All right, 6/8 time. That top number is still 6 beats in a measure. That doesn't change. Okay, that top number will always tell you how many beats in a measure. It could be 6/8, 12/8, 13/8, 10/8. Doesn't matter. That's how many beats is going to be in a measure. But that 8 at the bottom then is going to tell me that the eighth note here is going to get 1 beat. And in 6/8 time, if the eighth note gets 1 beat, then the quarter note will get 2 beats. Then the half note will get 4 beats, and the dotted half note will get 6 beats. Okay? Now that's 6/8 time. Okay? We've dealt with that for the last also couple of sessions. So we need to lay this to rest for a little while because we need to move on. But that's 6/8 time. The eighth note gets 1 beat, the quarter note gets 2 beats, the half note gets 4 beats, and the dotted half note gets 6 beats. All right. We also talked about the dot behind the note. Okay, we talked about the dot behind the note. If we have a half note with a dot behind it, if you look at your lessons that we were dealing with the dot behind the note, you'll be able to find out what a dotted half note is equal to, or how many beats you're going to get with a dotted half note. Okay? Now, if you remember, the dot behind the note gets half the value of the note. Okay, one more time. The dot behind the note gets half the value of the note. So if a half note gets 2 counts, then the dot is going to get 1 count because the dot gets half the value of the note, and half of 2 is 1. So a dotted half in common time is 3 beats or counts, however you want to say it. All right. So remember, the dot behind the note gets half the value of that note. It doesn't matter what the time signature is. It could be 6/8 time. Okay. That dot behind that note is going to get half the value of that note. Let me do 1 in 6/8 time. I'll do 1 for you in 6/8 time. Okay, let me put it up here, 6/8 time. Now, we said in 6/8 time that a dotted half note gets how many beats? 6 beats. I don't want to use that because, well, I can use it. I can use it. All right. A half note in 6/8 time gets 4 beats, right? Half note in 6/8 time gets 4 beats. And if the dot behind the note gets half the beat, then if the half note gets 4 beats, and the dot behind that half note gets 2 beats, because half of 4 is 2, then that dotted half note gets 6 beats. Okay, one more time, and we're gonna have to leave this alone to move on to something else also. All right, so dotted half note, the dot behind the note gets half the value of the note. In 6/8 time, a half note gets 4 beats. All right, half of 4 is 2, and then 4 plus 2 is 6. So a dotted half note gets how many beats? 6 beats in 6/8 time now. In 6/8 time. All right, let's move on. All right, we also talked about rest. And remember, I told you that rest is just that in music is silence. You rest. You rest. You don't play anything when you get to a rest. All right. If you're reading a sheet of music and you come across, you're in 4/4 time, and you come across a whole rest, that means you don't play anything for that whole measure, or you don't play anything for 4 beats or 4 counts. All right, you're silent until it's time for you to come back in, maybe the next measure or the next couple of measures down the line. So a rest is just that. It's silence. It's rest. All right. So let's look at the rest. All right. The whole rest gets 4 beats. The half rest gets 2 beats. The quarter rest gets 1 beat. The 8th rest gets a half beat. And the 16th rest gets 1/4 beat. One more time. And you should have this written down from our last session if you were with us. The whole rest gets 4 beats. The half rest gets 2 beats. The quarter rest gets 1 beat. The 8th rest gets a half beat. And the 16th rest gets 1/4 beat. All right. Now those are rests. And again, rest is just that, silence. Now before I go further with some rhythms, let me say this in the offset. If you have any questions, have any comments, if you have an idea how we can make learning music theory easier, just email us to musicmadeeasy2020@gmail.com. Email us at musicmadeeasy2020@gmail.com. If you have any questions, especially about 6/8 time or rest, or any other thing that we've talked about in our series of lessons thus far, all right, email me, and I'll be happy to try and answer those questions for you. And if, like I said before, if there's something I can't answer, then I'll definitely have somebody to come in that will be able to answer that question for you, because I don't know everything, and I'm not going to tell you I know everything either. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on with some rhythms, and we're going to do maybe 1 or 2 in common time, and we're going to start with 4/4. 4/4 time. We're going to be using rest and dotted notes. Okay, we're going to be using rest and dotted notes. All right, here we go. The first one, we're in 4/4 time. All right, I want you to look at that. Look at that rhythm that I have up there and see if there's 4 beats in that particular rhythm. See if there's 4 beats in that particular rhythm. Okay, we're in 4/4 time, so we need 4 beats. Remember the bottom 4, the quarter note gets 1 beat. All right, let's look at it. Let's do it like this. That's 1 beat. 8th note, 8th rest, half, half, 1 beat. Quarter note, 1, quarter note, 1. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3. We still missing something, okay? We're still missing something, and all we have is 3 beats up there. 1, 2, 3. We're missing a beat. What do I need to put up here to make it 4 beats? Let's see. There's only one thing that I could use at this point. I could use either an 8th note or 8th rest. So let's try that. Let's see. If I add it, let me make some room. If I added an 8th note, I'm gonna connect these like we normally do. If I added an 8th note, that would give me, let's see, would that give me 4 beats? Let's look at it. Would that give me 4 beats? Let's see, I got 1 quarter note, that's 1. 1 quarter note, that's 2. Now look at this, remember, 2 halves. 2 halves make a whole, that's 1. Then I got the dot. The dot is half the value of the quarter note. So that's a half, and that's a half. So it looks like it looks like I have 4 beats. Let's count it and see. Let's look at it and see. All right. 1, and I'm gonna do this way. 1, 2, and 3. So it's 1, 2, and 3. If I do this, I'm gonna connect that. That's gonna give me 1. So that's gonna give me 4 beats in that measure. Now let me say this in the offset. You can have any combination of notes, rest, dots, whatever up there. It has to equal to 4 beats though. You can have 4 sets of 16th notes. That's 4 beats. You can have 2 sets of 16th notes and 2 quarter notes. That's 4 beats. You can have 3 quarter rest and 1 quarter note. That's 4 beats. Or 3 quarter note, 3 quarter rest and 1 set of 16th notes. That's still 1 beat. So it doesn't matter the combination of notes or rests or dots you have up there. It has to equal to 4 beats. All right, let's move on. Let's put one up there for 6/8 time. I'm trying not to confuse you with these rhythm things. That's why we're gonna do more rhythms from time to time. Okay, we're gonna do more rhythms from time to time. We're still in 4/4 time. All right, let's do this. And one more. Now I need you to look at that and tell me if that's 4 beats. Okay? Look at that and tell me that's 4 beats. 4/4 time, 4 beats in the measure. The quarter note gets 1 beat. Let's see if that's 4 beats. Now that's my version, okay? That's my version of a quarter rest. Okay? Let's count it off. I'm gonna do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Remember what I told you about the set of 16th notes. This set of 4 16th notes is only 1 beat. Okay? Only 1 beat. All right, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 beats in that measure. Okay? You should have what we talked about with the set of 16th notes in your notes. So I'm not going to really go into that as much as I would have if we hadn't of. So just check your notes, and you can even research 16th notes. Okay? Research 16th notes. But 1, 2, 3, 4 beats. Okay? All right. All right. Now that's all we're going to deal with today. We've been doing extensive reviews on time signatures, on the dot behind the note, and about 16th notes and 6/8 time, and how the note values change in 6/8 time. So what I need you to do is, again, study your notes. Study your notes and research. As I said before, don't just take my word for it. Research it. Study. And if you have a question about something that you researched and studied that we talked about, then all you have to do is just email me, and we'll discuss it in our next session. All right? That's all you have to do is email me, and we'll discuss it in our next session. So that's all we're going to do for today. Now I'm going to give you some of what we're going to be talking about next. We're going to go into key signatures. And for those of you who want to learn to play by ear, one of the things that I feel you need to know is your key signatures. Whether you want to read music or not, you still need to know your key signatures, such as A flat has 4 flats, E flat has 3 flats, F has 1 flat, B flat has 2 flats, and on down the line. All right. So even if you want to play by ear, you still need to know your key signatures. So our next session, session 7, we're going to start dealing with key signatures and scales. Okay. Key signatures and scales in our next session. And if we have time, we'll go back and do some rhythms so that we can keep that in our minds. All right. So I'll tell you what, I'll see you next time. And well, I'll see you again in lesson 7. Talk to you then.